Hey, how's it going, folks? Stacker Noob UK back once again with another silver stacking video. Hope you're all doing really well. Now, unfortunately, I'll have nothing to unbox in August. Plenty coming in September though, but nothing in August. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. For a couple of reasons I've chose to do this video today. The first one is that I'm approaching 500 subscribers. At the time of recording, I'm 6 subscribers away from that. So that's amazing, guys. I can't thank you enough for the support. And hopefully this video puts me over the 500 mark. But also this video was requested by a number of my subscribers, particularly the new ones, who were asking what my top tips would be for a brand new silver stacker. So by popular demand, I'll be going over my top tips for stacker noobs. You see what I did there? So I'll move on anyway. So I've been thinking about this long and hard, and today's video is basically designed to share some of my wisdom, if you can call it that I've gained over the last 2 years. This is basically the accumulation of 2 years of my silver stacking, you see. I've got a lot still to learn, so I get that disclaimer out there right away. I've got so much to learn. There's always more to learn in this world. But when I started this channel, I really was a stacker noob. And so I thought today that by sharing some of my mistakes, particularly that I made in the beginning, that might mean that some new stackers might avoid my noob errors. So I've come up with a list of 6 points that I wish I'd been able to tell myself as I was starting stacking silver. This list is very personal to me, and not everything I suggest will apply to everyone, but these are the messages I would share with my new stacker self if I had had that opportunity. Okay folks, so tip number 1 is essentially calm down. Just calm down. It's really tempting after watching loads of videos to go out and dive straight in, alright, but really, honestly, take your time. Most of us aren't in the position of, say, Silver Slacker or Shadow Stacks, you know, the guys that buy thousands and thousands of ounces of silver. Most of us aren't in that position. So you can't realistically buy a set of everything. You cannot possibly own everything. So my tip to you would basically be to just think about what it is that you like. For example, I really like these Oriental Britannias, and I'm going to be picking up a few more of them. There's many iterations of the Britannia, but I'm not going to try and collect them all. You know, I'm never going to get a tube of all the privy ones and a tube of every year. Some stackers are in the position to do that. I'm not, and 99% of you will not be either. So think about what you like, start slow, and you know, I would recommend that everyone first get a couple of ounces of silver, alright, to start with. This was my very first piece of silver, and I got 2 of these actually. It was my first couple of ounces, and it really gave me a feel for silver. Like, this is shockingly heavy when you first get it. Like, look at the size of that, right? So it's a bit of a weird thing in the mind to hold silver, and you have to really hold it to appreciate how valuable it feels. So get yourself a couple of ounces of silver to start with, and just go from there. Alright guys, so tip number 2 is plan your stack strategy long term. So once you've committed to stacking or collecting silver, you need to have a think about what your end goal is. Okay, so for example, is it to have 1,000 ounces of pure bullion silver? If it was, you would want to buy the cheapest stuff you could find, generic rounds for example. Is it to have a pension stack? So are you going to keep this as long as you can? And maybe if it was a pension stack, you might want to liquidate little bits at a time, and maybe there would be room for some more sort of collectible pieces. For example, the Queen's Beasts here. This is the Griffin, my favourite piece. Beautiful coin. Is it to flip? You know, so for example, I mean, I'm not planning to flip these, I'm planning to keep these, but you might think about flipping the Marvel coins at some point. Maybe they'll go up in value. They are limited mintage after all, so these are potentially flippable. That's not why I bought them. But is that your strategy, to make some money, you know, over a short to medium term? What I'm saying is, having a rough strategy can really help. It helps you make decisions that are longer thought out and logical. Otherwise, you might get into a bit of a mess. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, my stack, when I first started, was a bit of a mishmash. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't really know what my goals was. I just wanted to have as much silver as I could. And basically what that meant was that I was not strategically buying silver. I was buying everything I could find, and it really led to me having a really messy stack, and it made me very unhappy. And that really leads on to rule number 3, which is buy what you like and like what you buy. This probably should be the number 1 rule, I think, but I put it here because it leads quite well on from the first 2 points that I've made. I'm showing you here my favourite piece of silver that I have, which is my 1 kilogram Umicore bar. I'm absolutely in love with this, and just when you feel this, you know you've got something special in your hands when you feel something like this. So, as I said, this maybe should be rule 1, and for me, it's absolutely essential that I buy what I like. Because I didn't follow rules 1 and 2, as I've mentioned, I ended up with a very poorly structured stack, which was full of odd coins and incomplete sets, and I'm something of a collector. I have a bit of a collector's mindset, and I'm a completionist as well. So knowing that I had all these odd coins that I would never ever be able to complete the sets of was actually really, the word is distressing. So the kookaburras are a great example of a set that, you know, is basically incompletable for someone like me. They're very nice coins, and I thought that everyone should have some kookaburras in their stack when I first started. And so I got a couple, and I started looking at backdating them, and I just realised it's so difficult. So what I've done now is I've went on sold the kookaburras I had, and I've sold a lot of coins, a lot of odd coins that I just wasn't happy that were in my stack, basically. One small example is these Queen's Beasts. So this is the Griffin again, I've showed you already. I had 3 of these, but I only want to collect 1 of each set. Why did I have 3? I have no idea. It turns out that I've actually made a small profit on the 2 that I've sold, but there was basically no need for me to have those, and it just made untidy numbers in my stack. And anyone who's been watching my videos for a while will know that I like to have lovely, complete numbers, lovely round numbers of things. And there are all the exceptions, like this skull, for example. I'm not going to buy any more of these, but this is a pretty cool piece. So I'm happy for stuff like odd things like this to be in my stack. Not a problem at all. Okay guys, so rule number 4 is think about storage for the future. When you're starting out stacking, it might seem like the last of your concerns where to store your coins, right? So when I first started, I got like 7-8 ounces or something, and I was like, well, that's just going in a small little box, and I'll hide that in a specific place in my house. And I never thought that it would become a problem. Well, now I have all of this. This is about 250 ounces of silver, and let me tell you, storing 250 ounces of silver in 1 box is an issue. It weighs about 7.5 kilograms, and my little chest that some of you have seen before is starting to struggle a little bit. I've actually started splitting my silver out all over the place now. That's why I've got this box here, because this is a way of me storing silver in a different location without me having to make too much effort. So plan ahead. Honestly, plan ahead. It might seem like I say, it might seem like the last of your concerns. You might think that, oh, I've got nothing, I've got absolutely nothing, but I started with nothing, and you guys might be looking at this and going, wow, how much, that's so much silver, I'm never going to get there. If you stick to a strategy, you will get to this point, and it will start becoming a problem. So make sure you have a long-term storage facility in place. Okay, rule number 5, guys, is do not try to time the market. The market will never, ever go the way you want it to 100% of the time. The best thing to do, really, is to have a little money tucked away, ready for the dips, but do not try to time your monthly purchases to meet the market's dips and peaks. You should commit to buying, forget about the American Eagles being upside down. You should commit to buying at set times in the month, or in the week even, or every 2 months, however it is that it's going to work for you. For me, it's right after payday, and having a set time and a set amount to buy will ensure that you reach your goals on schedule that you've already set out, and it will ensure that eventually, guys, you will be in a position like this, where you've got a lot of silver because you were disciplined with your buying strategy. So last but not least, guys, is rule number 6, which is get involved in the community. I cannot emphasize this one enough. I really, really can't. This might be one of the best pieces of advice that I could give anyone, and I wish I'd known this as the cardinal rule, if you like, the primary rule when I started stacking. Before you buy a single ounce, you need to talk to others who have the experience. You might be doing that right now by watching my video. You might be thinking about silver and you might be looking for advice, and good for you, because I didn't look for enough advice and it led to a lot of the problems which I've described already. I've taken my time to make contacts, I've gathered advice, and generally I've learned a lot about this world now, and I would have made much more informed decisions had I known all of that before. What I'm talking about here is mostly price-wise. I think I would have saved hundreds of pounds from buying from the right places. You have to really research, get involved and talk to people to find the best deals. But you know, you've got places like YouTube, there's a comment section right below. Get in the comments, talk to people, ask questions, they will answer. It's an amazing community on YouTube. And you also have one of my favourite places, the Silver Forum. Okay, so the Silver Forum is really, really your friend. I think it's an amazing place to be, actually. And there's great chat, and there's an awesome for sale section as well, which is where I've picked up a lot of cheap deals. In fact, I think I may have picked up a few of these Canadian Cougars off the Silver Forum on the cheap. And a lot of what I've got here is actually on the cheap. Most of those Philharmonics, some of these Maples, for example, one of the Queen's Beasts as well. All from the Silver Forum, all dead cheap. Absolutely the place to be. Get on it right now. Alright guys, so to summarise all of that, number 1, stop, take a breath, calm down. There's all the time in the world. Number 2 is to plan your stack strategy. Plan it what it is that you want your end goal to be. Number 3 is buy what you like and like what you buy. A very, very important rule, guys. Number 4 is where are you going to keep it all? Make sure you have a storage strategy in place. Number 5 is timing isn't everything. Don't try to time the market. Time yourself. Don't try to time the market. Number 6 is get involved in the community. Be part of the community. This is really where you're going to get the most advice that you can. And that, to me, that's probably one of the most important rules in silver stacking, especially if you're in the UK. Now guys, while I jingle some of my 1 ounce silver bars from Prospectus Golden Gems and Atlantis Mint there, which I like to do sometimes, while I have a little look at these, I'll give you bonus rule number 7, which is size doesn't matter. Your stack is your stack, and even having a few ounces puts you ahead of 99% of the population. You've made the most important step already. Be proud. You've taken the red pill. Your monetary mindset will be changed forever if you stack silver. That's about it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed those top 6 rules, plus the bonus number 7 rule. And I really hope that this has helped some of the new stackers who are just thinking about what they're going to do when it comes to their stack strategy. Alright guys, take care of yourselves. Tune in next month for my September unboxing. Thanks very much, and cheers.